Okay, good. We seem to be live. Excellent. Don't worry, I'm going. If you're rewatching this, it'll start properly enough. I don't know, skip about 5 or 10 minutes in. I'm actually starting this about 10 minutes early, just so people can, get here. Yeah. Gotta be using this tripod to put my phone on. This is just a cheap little light tripod off eBay, which I can't use for my regular camera because otherwise it makes it top heavy. This is the regular tripod I use, which weighs an absolute ton. I mean, just look at that. This is just a really cheap one. This is not. It's bloody heavy for one. This is fine though for holding a phone, and actually for holding my previous camera actually. It's fine for that, but yeah, set things up properly. So we'll just set the camera app. You can see 2 people are watching already, so hello those 2 people. What I'm just going to do is get this open on my tablets, and also if any of you actually want to talk to me during live stream as well, like on a call, what I'm going to do is on my Discord, I'm going to connect my voice on the Discord, so if you go into my Discord, then you can also chat to me that way during this. I'm just going to leave it switched on. But anyway, YouTube, my channel, and actually, can we change the thumbnail? No, I can't change the thumbnail while the stream is going on, unfortunately. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, this is the 9-year anniversary live stream, so hooray for that, everybody. Yeah, 9 years on YouTube, who can bloody believe it? There we go, I just realised I've been out of focus for the last couple of minutes. There we go. So yeah, 9 years on YouTube, fucking hell. You thought I would have got something better to do with my life, but, here we are, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. So yeah, just looking back. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll start by just looking at the comments for the video I posted. I think it was yesterday I posted it. Yeah, it was, because yesterday was Easter. And just taking a look at the comments, and then, just so you know, you can leave any comments on this video and I will answer them, and I mean anything. So same rules as usual, just comment whatever if you like to talk about anything in particular, then yeah, there we go. So here we go. So first one came from Roy here, who asked me, can you review those Dalek model kits? And I do have a few of them, and the reason I haven't reviewed them is because essentially, one, they were bought already pre-made, they were bought used, and I have shown them in videos before. I've shown them in the Doctor Items to Unbox videos from when I got them. To be honest, it's not really. I mean, I'll just grab one. I'll grab this one. But what can I essentially say about it? To be honest, because it's generally down to the person who made it. I mean, this one, the slats are far too high up, the band is too thin, but that's generally all down to the person who made it. I mean, I do really like this is a Comet Miniatures one, and I do really like it. Now this one, the head does turn now, but it didn't initially. The head actually broke off actually when I got this, so now it's just held on there with blue tack. This one, the dome is simply just held on there via blue tack, so it can have some movement. It's not accurate, but I do like this thing. I do like the size of them. I do like the size of them. Unfortunately, it's missing a hemisphere on the back. But I do like the size of these, but this one isn't the best. This is probably my weakest one that I put together by the previous person. It's a little bit and the dome, you know, was never put on properly, so that's why it's always kind of at an angle. Or it kind of does represent what was actually shown on screen, really, when you think about it. Yeah, it does really represent these garlics. I mean, even the way it's glued onto the base, it's actually at a slight wonky angle. So yeah, nothing about this one is perfect. Compare that to easily probably my favourite one, which is getting a bit of dusk on it actually. So this, now this, yeah, we'll straighten these up. This one I got, the other one was bought on eBay, but this one was one of the two I got from a shop in Blackpool, which I probably won't be able to go to Blackpool this year for obvious reasons. But yeah, this one is probably my favourite one. The only thing that is really wrong with this one is just here, one of the poles or the neck bins there is either snapped off or at some point being missing. So that is the only thing that's wrong with this one. And also the person who was putting the discs on the eyes on this one, they're all in one big massive clump at the end, which is a bit weird. Yeah. But on this one, I mean, they've actually got the bands, you know, the correct thickness and the correct position. I mean, just to compare the two of them, that, you know, they should really be this thick, not this thin. That is a common issue with them, that a lot of people cut them to the wrong size. And this one, obviously, you know, has the claw. So, yay. This one is actually nearly the same size. It's the slightest bit shorter, like literally by a few millimeters. It's a few millimeters shorter than the Product Enterprise infrared control version of this. This one, the dome can actually turn freely and the eye moves up and down, the gun's ball jointed, and so is this. But yeah, this Comet Makers one is really well done, and the paint apps are really good as well. They're not perfect on this, not 100% perfect, but to be honest, they are almost spot on with this. To be honest, I can't really find many flaws with this. The dome lights themselves are a bit interesting. Yeah. But yeah, this one I do really like. And again, the size of it, you know, it's about I'd say about 8 inches tall. I'd say about 8 inches ish. So it's just a nice, you know, bigger size than it is a mold. But the thing is, you can't really do much with it. Essentially, this is just, you know, purely for display. You can actually see, you know, underside works being glued together, but yeah, there's not even wheels or anything, and it's just to sit like so. And it is pretty fragile as well. But yeah, that's just one of the other ones I've got. I've got a few others that I've shown before, but this one is my favourite. So yeah, not really much to say. If you do find one on eBay, then that is complete. Then obviously you can always repaint them if you want, but it's a bit difficult once you've got them, and you can still find them on eBay. In fact, I think one of the Comet Maker ones was listed on eBay the other day where it was all loose, so you can actually still find them and build them yourself if you want. It would be nice if we did get something like that again, but unfortunately we haven't. So yeah, that's kind of it for the Comet Maker ones. I mean, just to show them in a size comparison, I mean, here it is next to a Talking Product Enterprise one. Yeah, just a bit of a size comparison. I do like the size of the Product Enterprise ones, though. These ones are a nice size. They're a bit large. They're 6.5 inches. These, they're a bit larger than obviously the character options ones because they're 5-inch scale. They're a bit larger, a bit chunky. Yeah, they also feel pretty sturdy as well. They're very, very solidly made. These, and I do have a nostalgia for them. Now, I don't, which is one of the reasons probably why I don't buy Daypol figures. Actually, is because I have a nostalgia for these because these were available and were still coming out when I was young and little. Whereas Daypol was Daypol lost the license when I was, I think, 1 or 2 years old. It might have been nearly 3 actually when Daypol lost the license. And yeah, what was it? 2000, 2001 that Daypol lost the license. I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but yeah, because of that, we had Product Enterprise, and unfortunately, a similar thing happened where Product Enterprise didn't renew their license, so unfortunately, Product Enterprise lost the license. However, it is a sad story that Product Enterprise did lose the license, but the advantage is that it allowed Character to then start making Classic Series figures. I think that was one of the other things that was holding them back. I mean, there were various reasons why, but one of the reasons why is that they didn't have a Classic Series license at the time, and they were debating whether to get it or not. And Product Enterprise, wasn't making as much money because Product Enterprise merchandise was never in general stores. It was never in general stores. It was only, like I say, I'm trying to think. It was in the Doctor Who Museum in Blackpool. I remember that, and it was bloody expensive as well in there. But the places I remember it most is it was in Model Zone, and Forbidden Planet. They're the places that generally has the most stuff. Forbidden Planet, they generally had everything. Yeah. Now, later I found out that the Sci-Fi Collector shop did actually have them as well, and the Who shop also in Blackpool also had some. But yeah, they were never cheap. I mean, this guy originally retailed for £30. This originally retailed for £30. This, I mean, he does talk and everything, and he is pretty accurate. But yeah, it was a very niche thing. I mean, compare that to now, where some people are complaining about some of the stuff, character stuff being more expensive because I mean, this you paid more, but you did get your quality with it. I mean, generally, there's no paint leaks or anything like this. I mean, with this one, there can't really be because most of the pieces are separate parts anyway, like the hemispheres and that. So, yeah. But the thing is that it is sad that obviously we don't have Product Enterprise anymore. But the thing is that there's always the thing of what they could have done if they kept the license for longer. But you gotta forget, don't forget the stuff that Product Enterprise had planned. They had what was called the Gleefix Daleks planned, and if you haven't seen what the Gleefix Daleks look like, well, essentially they would be Daleks that were in a sort of they would all be unique and have a swirly color. Essentially, they'd be re-releasing the infrared movie Daleks and the 2-inch. I think they were 2 inches. 2-inch, 1 or 2-inch micro talking Daleks in these weird swirling. Actually, you know what? Let's actually. So, oh yeah, I've got the mic turned on. I'm just going to disconnect from the Discord. Gleefix Dalek, and it did not do anything there. Right, Galaxy Dalek. See if I can find an image. Product, Enterprise. Wow, a lot of when you search for Product Enterprise Galaxy, a lot of my videos come up. Try and find an image. There was a YouTuber who does actually have one of them and has actually reviewed one of them, and he's in my subscription, and I can't remember his name, so I'm gonna search it. Actually, I'm gonna find the name of the YouTuber. I'm gonna find the name of the YouTuber who actually has a Gleefix Dalek and actually did show one off in a video. So if I find him, then oh, there we go. The Who merchandise. So this guy, the Who merchandise, actually did do a video on the Gleefix Daleks on one of the ones he has, because I do believe he does have one, if I remember rightly. But he did do a video on Product Enterprise, which is pretty good. You can go watch that. So yeah. But essentially, you know, the stuff that Product Enterprise was planning to do in the future wasn't exactly great stuff. You know, generally, I mean, the thing is just like, what else could Product Enterprise do? Because Product Enterprise, when you think about them, they essentially, you know, only had were essentially doing what Character are doing now, and basically they had a limited amount of parts that they could use, and when they were just re-releasing stuff in different colours. That's what the majority of their Daleks were. They were just, I mean, all of these ones are exactly the same, just all in different colours. There are 2 different sound chips for these, though. This one has the earlier sound chip, and the others have the later sound chip. But even with the 12-inch ones and the movie ones, you know, most of them are just reusing parts for most of it, maybe a couple of tweaks here and there. But like I said, and that's pretty much the same as what Character are doing today. So it's not too different to what was happening then. So yeah. So in terms of our Character are reusing parts and they shouldn't be doing that, they were not the first. Deerpol did that before them. Even more infamously, they did that before them. To a massive extent. And Dennis Fisher, I mean, most of Dennis Fisher's stuff was literally just standard bodies. That's why the Cyberman doesn't actually have any hands. The Dennis Fisher Cyberman, he does actually underneath the suit, like, but it's just a standard Mego doll body. That's essentially what they are. So yeah, but anyway, I'm just going to look at the comments. Andy G asks, Greggs or McDonald's? Now, that's a difficult one, because I have a nostalgia for both, and I still eat both. And fun fact, I actually live where the original Greggs is. Yeah, because the original Greggs used to be called Greggs of Gosforth. So I actually live where the original Greggs is. However, I eat McDonald's more often than a Greggs, and I generally prefer going to McDonald's just because, yeah. So in terms of Greggs or McDonald's, yeah, I'm gonna have to say McDonald's, unfortunately, because I eat it more often. I mean, at the moment I can get neither, so yeah. That to answer that question, unfortunately, it's McDonald's. Yeah. Another question on the video of yesterday. How many years ago? What's your favourite? So Liam Dolan, Killican Park 1. Turns that is a really long bloody name. Asks, what's your favourite Doctor Who figures / collectibles? Also, do you think Character should should release or re-release more radio-controlled Daleks, Davroses, and K9 toys. So, to answer the first part of the question, what is your favourite Doctor Who figure or collectible? Well, there's several. There's several. One of them is actually over there, and I can actually show you it. So there's one of them there. That is a 18-inch voice interactive Dalek. So that's one of them. I think my favourite out of them is probably the Supreme. But I remember I used to love playing with them. I loved playing with them back in the day. And but I do actually have a story. I think I might have told it last time. I can't remember if I did. About how I got... actually, you know what? I'll tell you the story on how I got each of the radio-controlled Daleks. The 18-inch ones. At least the original two that I had back in the day. So they were coming out in 2007. Now, in 2007, before the 18-inch radio-controlled Daleks came out, there was the radio-controlled Dalek Fair. And I remember my parents asking me, do you want this for birthday or Christmas? And I looked at the radio-controlled... It was the radio-controlled damaged Dalek Fair, which I now do have. But back then I didn't. And I decided to pass on it, mainly because they're just, you know, there's one thing having a 5-inch figure, but, you know, a 12-inch one, because it was £40 for that. I decided, you know, it's too... I already had 2 bronze radio-controlled 12-inch Daleks from character, so I decided to pass on that one. Because there wasn't really, you know, it wasn't really worth it and that. So I decided to pass on that one. And then later on, I remember the 18-inch ones got revealed, and holy shit, they were huge, and they were just everything that, you know, I wanted. They were more accurate for one. They're probably one of the most accurate Dalek toys. Probably the most accurate Dalek toy that has ever been made. And I'm talking as a toy. Not as a model kit, a collectible or whatever, as a toy that is the most accurate one that has probably ever been released. So much so that they actually do appear in Day of the Doctor, albeit slightly modified to have the 3 holes in the next section removed to make them more accurate. But yeah, and I remember walking into Debenhams one day, because we were in Debenhams, I think, because my mum wanted something, and I noticed there was a massive, you know, stockpile of them. They were like the centerpiece in the toy section in Debenhams, and they were already reduced to £50. Their retail price was £100, and this is the point where I knew I was getting one. My mum literally turned to my dad behind me and whispered, but not very quietly, "They're only £50 here. I'll take the other one back and get it here." That's how I knew I was getting one that Christmas. So little 8-year-old me on Christmas Day opened up a 18-inch voice interactive Dalek. And that made me extremely happy. Now, fast forward just under a year later, it's October 2008. Now, actually, you know what? It's April 2008. I think. Yeah, somewhere around about then. No, it might have been after. Basically, it was just when, not long after the 12-inch radio-controlled Red Supreme Dalek had been released. And one night, my brother had to have 4 of his teeth removed. They were his milk teeth. He was only, let's see, he would have been very young at the time, actually. He would have been, I think, about 4, maybe 5. I think he probably would have been about 4, I'd say, something like that. Possibly even 3, actually. I can't remember. No, he would have been 3 or 4. Yeah, he would have been 3 or 4 years old. And he had 4 of his teeth removed. And my dad, you know, in order to make him feel better about having to have them milk teeth removed, he bought him, which really annoyed my mum, but it annoyed me even more. He bought him, he went to Argos and bought him the 12-inch radio controlled Supreme Dalek, which I still do not have one to this day. I do not have the 12-inch radio controlled Supreme Dalek from 2008. I do not have the 12-inch radio controlled one whatsoever. I have the 5-inch one and the 18-inch, but I don't have the 12-inch this day. And he got it, and he fucking broke it. If you've seen my video where I explore the loft, you can actually see the remains of it, where it's literally the gun, the eye, the plunger, the dome lights are all missing. The dome is basically broken as well. It doesn't even turn on anymore. He bloody broke that, which really annoys me. But anyway, later in that year, in October time, it was my birthday. And on my birthday, I was at Blackpool for my birthday. We're spending a few days away in Blackpool. And I'd got £105. I remember the exact amount, £105 for my birthday. And I remember we were in the Who shop, and I saw the voice interactive radio controlled Dalek Sec, the 18-inch Dalek Sec, and I wanted to get that. It was £100, and the thing is, I never knew it was a Toys R Us exclusive, because when I was little, we very rarely went to Toys R Us. And the reason is because, my mum would never take us over there. Basically, the nearest Toys R Us to where I lived was in Gateshead at just outside the Metro Centre. And it was literally just like outside and across the road, but my mum very rarely took us there. So yeah, very rarely went to Toys R Us when I was little. So I didn't have any idea, but it was £100, so it was its retail price. And, I wanted to get it, but my parents, mainly my dad convinced me not to get it and to look around and save my money. Yeah, my dad, for quite a long time, actually banned me from buying any Doctor Who merchandise whatsoever. So my mum and my granny had to sort of sneak it onto me, but that's a story for another day. But later that day, we went to the Coral Island Amusements. And unfortunately, I decided the smart thing to do was to carry all my money around in this wallet and put it in my coat pocket. And it wasn't a zip pocket. It wasn't even, and it was just a side flap pocket that things can easily fall out of. And guess what? At some point when I was in Coral Island, it fell out. And I lost all £105 of my birthday money without spending a penny of it, like that. And as you can imagine, as just on my 10th birthday, I was more than a bit upset. I remember we got in the car and we were driving by the lights, and this is when the Blackpool lights had the Dalek, which would say exterminate and would actually rotate its dome as well, which they had there on the Blackpool lights for quite a while, actually. But yeah, and I think that year Robbie Williams turned the lights on, I think, if I remember rightly. It was one of those years. And my mum, said, oh, to my dad who was driving, said, oh, we'll take him to Tesco and get him a pumpkin. So we went to Tesco, and only me and my mum went in. The rest of my family stayed in the car and just waited. And my mum went to go get some bits and bobs for the hotel, because we're staying in a premiere and just got some crisps and so. And I looked and there was no pumpkins left, because this was the day before Halloween, so there was no pumpkins left. So I decided to have a look in the toy aisle, and there, I had no idea that this was a thing that was being released. There was the 18-inch radio controlled Supreme Dalek, and it was reduced from £100 to £50. And I literally sat in front of it, and it's just like, and when my mum came round, I literally begged her saying please have it, and my mum, feeling sorry for me since I'd lost £105, she bought it for me, and she said, "That's it though. You're not getting anything else. That's it." And it's just like, fine, don't care, fine. So I got the 18-inch radio-controlled Supreme Dalek, along with some batteries for it. And fucking hell, those things, the batteries ended up costing about a quarter of what the Dalek cost, nearly, because we got the batteries from Tesco, because it requires, I don't know if you, for those of you who don't know, the 18-inch Daleks require 4 AA batteries, 4 D-cell batteries, and a 9-volt battery for the remote. And this was buying them from Tesco, so I think the cost of the back, and also had to buy, I think we had to buy a screwdriver as well. So it ended up, the batteries and that ended up costing, with the screwdriver, I think it ended up costing about 15 quid or something along those lines. So yeah, just about a quarter of the overall price. And my dad was annoyed saying, "Why are you buying that?" My mum was like, "Oh, felt sorry." So when we got to the Premiere Inn, I opened it up and we put the batteries in. And I remember the day after we were leaving, and rather than just carry the Dalek out, I decided to use its radio control, and I actually drove it, or radio controlled it, through the corridor of the Premier Inn Hotel, drove it into the lift, took it downstairs, and drove it downstairs in the lift, came out the front door, and I remember the receptionist going, "What on earth is that?" And then I turned it around, pointed the eye stalk up, pressed the button, and thankfully it was set to exterminate, because for some reason on the 18-inch ones you can only keep pressing the button over and over again. There's not the separate buttons for some weird reason. And then drove it outside onto the concrete outside, right up to the car, and then put it in. Yeah. So one of the worst experiences I had losing all my birthday money was actually, if I hadn't have lost my birthday money, we would have never have went to that Tesco. And if I'd never, because we don't normally go to Tesco because, well, basically, the nearest one to us is a little bit out of our way, and plus, generally we prefer going to other supermarkets anyway. So, so if we weren't in Blackpool, and if I hadn't lost all my money and decided to go to Tesco because that was the nearest supermarket there when we were driving, I would have never got that 18-inch Supreme Dalek. So yeah, losing all my money caused that to happen. And that was a really long-winded story about that, but yeah. But while the other ones, the second one, I'm going to say that means the most to me. Unfortunately, it's not here, it's actually at home, but it has been seen in quite a few videos, is the Dalek Collector Set 1, particularly the Genesis Dalek. And why does Dalek Collector 1 hold so much value to me? Because there's 2 reasons. One, I love the Genesis Daleks. They're my joint favourite with the 6-piece silver, and I really love the Supreme Dalek. Basically, that was amazing. But basically, that came out in 2008. Kind of mid to late-ish 2008. I think it was in the third quarter of 2008 or something like that. And I remember, I think it was the summer holidays, actually. Yeah, I think it was the summer holidays or something, if I remember rightly. And I remember my late granda, took us out to the town, and we went to Forbidden Planet. And I saw it there. In Forbidden Planet. It was $16.99. That was its retail price, which is really weird. It was Dalek Collector Set 2 that came out the following year. That was £20. But this one was $16.99. Dalek Collector Set 1. That was its retail price, and again, I did the same thing. I said, "Please, can I have me?" And my granddad, I didn't have to beg him much. I just said, "Can I please have this? I've really wanted it." And he bought me it. And I remember my mum got annoyed at him for buying it for me, because she said, "Oh, it's his birthday in a few weeks' time. Why are you buying this for him now for no reason?" Because he did just spend 17 quid on a 9-year-old for no reason. It wasn't my birthday or anything like that. And he just said, and I remember he just said, "Oh, he's a kid. Just let him have it." So, which I'd already opened it and started playing with it. So, yeah. But one of the reasons why that holds so much sentimental value to me is because that was one of the last things he bought me. Actually, it wasn't the last thing, but it was one of the last things I vividly remember him specifically buying me, because he bought it for, because the following year in 2009 he died in 2009. He actually, I think he, yeah, it's not too long until his 11-year anniversary of his death. Actually, not too long till then. But that was one of the last things, he bought me. It's the last thing I remember him specifically, him buying me, because normally, it was off my granny and my granddad. I remember in 2008, they got me. I remember they got me from Model Zone. They got me, because like shows it out, the Death to the Daleks 12-inch Product Enterprise Dalek, which I still do have. That is the one that you see in the video when I review it. That is my original one. It's the only one I've got of it, actually. That is the one I got, and that was reduced to £30 at Model Zone. That's why I got it. I think they were getting me something else as well, but I remember I also got SpongeBob Atlantis SquarePantis on DVD from Woolworths. I remember that as well for some reason. That was just like, I wasn't supposed to have, because just like I remember I got a couple of things and basically I spent up my money, and just like I saw that and went, all right. And I was allowed back straight away, actually. I didn't have to wait for that. So yeah, that's that's some of the things that mean a lot to me. In terms of the other part of the question, do I think? Yeah, I know this question's gone on a while. Do I think they should re-release more of the radio-controlled Daleks, Davros, and K9 toys character? Yes. To be honest, I think they kind of missed a trick with B&M. Because when they re-released the radio-controlled Dalek back in 2017. I mean, essentially all it was a clean version of the Asylum Dalek, that being an exclusive to Toys R Us. And, even then it wasn't too different to its original release anyway, just a colour change to more accurate colours. So yeah, I think they missed a trick with that. I think really, I don't think, the sad thing is, I don't think we're ever going to get any more radio-controlled Daleks or K9s from character. It seems very unlikely, because in 2017 when they released that radio controlled Dalek, that was them testing the waters, which is why they released it in a more limited quantity. It was only in the larger stores, just like they did the following year in 2018 with the original Third Doctor TARDIS release. That way it was only in the bigger stores, because and in more limited quantity, because they were testing the waters to see, is this something people wanted? And kind of like with the Dalek sets last year, not to the biggest extent, because Dalek figures have always sold well for character, basically any company. But yeah, I think they could have chose a better Dalek to re-release if they were going to do one back in 2017. I think really the one they should have done was the Supreme Dalek. And that isn't just because I didn't have one. I still don't to this day. I'm not, I mean, I could find one, but I'm not massively interested in getting one, because I've got the 18-inch one. But the reason is that if they, did a repaint of it, or recolouring of it, they could say it was from 2015's. I mean, it were being a bit late for it, but could say it was the one from The Magician's Apprentice. And that would be more interesting, because that was a Dalek that a lot less people had. Most people, if they have a radio-controlled Dalek, chances are it's going to be a bronze one. That's the one that most people have. That is the one that's sold the most. Easily the standard 12-inch bronze. So, yeah, I mean, they could have done worse. I think the only one they could have done worse was release a Dalek Sec. Just because that one is pretty much just as common as the bronze, and the reason I say the bronze is a better choice than the Dalek Sec because the bronze you can army build with it, and the colours were also more accurate. The sculpt wasn't, obviously, but the colours were. And I would have said the Dalek Theer was a worse choice as well, just because, again, you can only really have one Dalek Theer. I mean, I used to have quite a few of the figures back in the day until my brother broke them, but yeah, there's not really a lot I can say about that. In terms of K9, I mean, there's the original release, which is very easy to get your hands on. Very easy to get your hands on eBay. It's not difficult to get for cheap price. And there's also the now there is the re-release version, which is, well, not re-release, sorry, the Mark II version, which is the classic K9 where he's repainted or remolded in his classic colours. They could do a Mark III version. I think it's Mark III, I can't remember. But they could do, another version if they wanted of the classic K9. Whether that would sell or not, I don't know. I remember it was in Toys R Us for quite a while. I remember. Actually, something they haven't released, and even though I'm not a fan of the design of these Daleks, it would be nice to have one. The Scientist Dalek, the Paradigm Scientist Dalek, just because that is the one radio controlled one that they didn't release. I think they kind of knew, and we kind of knew as well when they released the Supreme back in 2013 that was probably going to be the last Paradigm that they ever released in radio controlled form, because the Supreme was last to be released in the 5-inch figure form, and it was the last to be released in radio controlled form in the 13-inch scale, because they never released the Scientist, which, yeah. And weirdly, they changed the voice chip on the Supreme, which I don't know why. I really don't know why, and I'm still baffled to that by this day. I did a review on it way back when as well. I won't be opposed to that. I would love, and I've talked about this many times, I would love for them to do classic radio-controlled Daleks. I would love them to do that. But that's never going to happen. The only way I could say it could happen is maybe if they manage to get the molds from them, or something from Product Enterprise, because they do exist. They're not called Product Enterprise, but they do exist in a very small capacity now. So only in that sense, and to be honest, I would be fine with them. I would love to see the 18-inch ones get re-releases. That would be nice. Even if, just have them be radio controlled. In fact, I would, for one, I don't think they could make them voice interactive because the chips that were used to make them, the voice interactive stuff, those chips are from 2007, so no longer actually exist. At least not then. They'd have to use some other chips, computer chips, in order to it. Probably could be done by using a Raspberry Pi or something. But to be honest, I would forego that and just have them be radio controlled, and that means they could get rid of the holes in the neck section. And I would happily have that. If they could actually release that and have it be £100 at the most, I'd say, if it was exclusive to B&M or even a general release. Because if it was £50, the same price that the 12-inch one was a couple of 3 years ago nearly. If they were £50, I would buy fucking 6 of them. Probably. Not straight away, but I'd probably buy a few of them because I just absolutely love them. I'd love to have a massive army of them. But yeah, that's what I'd say about that. Actually, I should go back and see. Okay, the only other comment I've got in the chat so far is Andy G asks me, Indian food or Chinese food? Chinese food. Pretty simple. Probably my favourite Chinese food is probably special chow mein. Just because then you get all the meats and bits of the veg. Not really bothered about the veg. But all the meats and stuff all in one. So yeah, actually I remember the last takeaway I got from a Chinese. I ordered special chow mein. They gave me, and I didn't have mine until later on because I wasn't hungry at the time. I had mine a couple hours later. And they gave me special chow mein, but with no noodles. And I rang them up and said, "Oh, we'll give you 10% disc. We'll give you a 10% discount. That's the best we can do." It's like, what? And then they just hung up. So I don't think we'll be ordering from them again. It was Nice Noodle that they're called. But yeah, just like so, and I didn't have any noodles, so I just made special chow mein with pasta. So yeah. Roy here asks, when did you get and make those Dalek model kits in the last figs? As I said at the start of this stream, I did not make them. Okay. Just to show them again, because I showed them at the start of the stream, but stuff like these were not made. These were pre-made that I bought. This one was off eBay. Another one was mostly being off eBay. One of them was bought in Blackpool, pre-made, which is why they're not really very accurate and you can't really review them because it just depends what person made them. The person that made this one is probably my most shoddy one. The bits are glued on at wobbly angles. The measurements aren't right where it's being made, so it can't really be reviewed. I have shown these in videos before and gone over them. I mean, I just went over them at the start of the screen, but if you take a look at some of my previous items to unboxes, I do actually show them in the video. I can't remember which ones off the top of my head, but I do show them off and talk about them a lot more than in detail. But yeah, I can't really review something like that just because if it was me doing the model kit, if I was making it, then I could review it on that extent. But the fact is, excuse me, all the ones I've got, you know, you don't get two that are made the same, even if they have the same Dalek, just because of obviously the variety. It's not like a model kit today where all the parts are the same and you literally just glue it together. Well, on this one was like you have to cut bits out and everything because it was a late 90s, not late 90s, late 80s, early 90s time. The movie one looks alright. Yeah, the movie one I've got looks the best out of them. I'm going to show it, actually. Let's grab it. Actually, I'll grab this one as well. So, the movie one, this is the most accurate one I've got. To us, I can't really find much fault with this one. Apart from the discs around the eyes are all in one massive clump together. And also it's missing a bit off here. Well, that's, it's pretty damn accurate, this one. Now this one and this one, these were both bought together in Blackpool. They were bought at a shop in Blackpool, which I did. Actually, that's what it is. It was my search for Got 2 merchandise, which is why I got these. The first one I did. Now, these were both bought from the same place, but this one is actually pretty accurate. The fact that it has the correct amount of discs around the eye. Unfortunately, if you notice, the bands on this one are far too thin. This one, they're just about right. And that's the problem. Some people, these bands, you had to cut out and cut to size. And a lot of people I've seen cut them far, far too thin. This is one of the few where they've actually got the thickness of the bands just about right. Whereas this one, a bit too thin. The only annoying thing about this one is this person glued the eye in position, so the eye cannot move up and down on this one. It can on this one. However, at least the dome can turn. A lot of them, most of the ones I have, the people actually glued the dome in place so the dome couldn't turn. You can hear it's very squeaky, this one. But yeah, a lot of people glued the domes in places, which I really hate. I really hate, because then, you know, it just means less portability in ways to display it. But this one is really accurate, and I do like the paint job that this one is being given as well. And I think this one is probably not far off the Eagle Moss Mega Dalek of this. However, I would say this one is... I mean, the dome lights are the wrong colour. They should be white. However, something that is more accurate... excuse me, hay fever. It's not corona, I swear. Is that the discs are blue. Why I cannot understand why on the Eagle Moss one are the discs white and not blue. I really don't understand that. Why are they that colour? Why are they not blue? Because they got it right on the regular version, but why not the large version? I don't understand why they are blue. Because literally that is the one thing that has stopped me from buying it, is because the dome lights are the wrong colour. That is literally the only reason why I never got it. And the bronze Dalek has a few, quite fair few inaccuracies, which is why I never bought that one. And the one that I'm tempted the most by is the Eagle Moss Mega Davros. The problem is, the thing that baffles me is that they've got him like this, with his mouth open. Why? Why? It just makes him look so stupid. Why not just have his mouth shut like this? Like he normally does. To be honest, I'd actually say that the Michael Wisher Davros, that character made, is probably one of the most accurate head sculpts of a humanoid figure they've ever done, probably. That and the Terry Malloy one, yeah, them ones are pretty damn accurate. So, Okay, cool. Andy J asks, Apple or Android? Well, I'll let you have a guess. This is an Android tablet. This is an Android phone. So I think you can guess which one I'm on. So yeah. But everything, I've always used Android. I did have an iPod Nano Gen 3. Actually, it was a family one we had way back when it came out, because it was the first time where they'd gone down in price, so they were affordable. It was £100 though. It was £100 for a 4 gig iPod. But that is the only Apple products we've ever gotten. Basically, my whole family uses Android. I use a Galaxy Note 8 and a Tab S4. Not a Tab 4, a Tab S4. So anyway, the move on took alright. Okay, cool. Roy has a lot of figures. A lot of eBay figures have joints glued together for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Some people glue them together in order to make them more solid, which it does, but it also can make them more brittle. So it just depends. Some people went round the route of gluing everything together, and I've seen people do the opposite, where barely anything is glued together, and basically if it even wobbles a slight bit, the whole thing falls apart and you have to put it back together. So it can basically go either way with that one. Eagle Moss figures stuffed up so many Dalek colours. Yeah. Andy asks, do I hate Apple? No, I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I just don't care, to be honest. I buy what I like. I mean, I hate the smartphone market as a general, because I hate notches and I hate hole cutouts. Because I just like my entire screen to just be screen and nothing to intrude on it, because I do, as you can guess, watch a lot of content, on my phone, on my tablet, so that is why. So yeah, and he asks, Patrick Troughton is better than Tom Baker. Do you agree? No. I love Patrick Troughton, but I love Tom Baker more. Patrick Troughton is my third favourite Doctor. So if you want, my top 3 Doctors, number 1 is Tom, number 2 is John, number 3 is Pat. Then the list kind of gets a bit confusing after that. So yeah, so I can always name my top 3 though, and Pat is at number 3. Adoring Tro. Sorry if I'm Adoring Tro. Endure. Adoring Tro. I can't fucking say this. You bought the latest Doctor Who magazine. Free stuff from. I didn't buy the latest Doctor Who magazine. I don't think. What was the latest one? Because to be honest, I don't normally buy them. $5.50 is the latest one. Oh yeah, with the free stuff. Ah yes. The problem is the free stuff. I mean, the TARDIS diorama is quite nice, but it is just, you know, made of cardboard and just flat cardboard and that, so it's not worth it for me. And the Big Finish I've already got, and that's only half of the Big Finish actually. So yeah, because there's 2 stories, one of them is a 6-part, the other's a 4-parter. So to be honest, no, I don't. I generally don't buy Doctor Who magazines or magazines in general. I only buy only buy Doctor Who magazines if there's something a free gift that I want in it. Like for example, the Evil of the Daleks EP. I bought that. In fact, I bought 2 of them because I wanted one sealed of the EP. But I did actually make that EP. If you did miss out on it, if you search for my video on it, there's a download link where I did digitize it. So yeah, which the BBC tried to copyright. Yeah, even though I played none of it in the video, the fact that I put a link in the description, they tried to take that video down. So yeah. Posters quite nice, and I'm not really bothered about posters. To be honest, not very. I did used to have a fair few posters which I did put on the wall. I blue tacked them to the wall, so eventually after, you know, an extended period of time, they would fall off and then get crinkled and then put them back on and then they fall off again. Accidentally, it's happened to every single poster I have ever had, unfortunately. And eventually they do get destroyed, apart from if I ever get a poster a day, like when Odeon gives away free posters when you go see a film. I've got the both halves of the It Chapter 2 poster, the Joker poster, and the Shaun the Sheep poster. So those are really the only posters that I have now. So yeah, I don't know, was there anything else to talk about? I can't remember. I can't really remember, to be honest. Yeah. If anyone's got anything else to ask, then obviously just put it in the comments below. Otherwise, Mike's wrap this thing up because it's been going for about an hour now. And to be honest, I've talked about few things, but for a long period of time. Yeah, rather than just going from thing to thing to thing, I've talked about very few things, but in an extended period of time. So, happy days. Actually, something I'll mention is season 14 has yet to be delayed. Yeah. And it might actually be released on the 5th of... no, not 5th, 4th of May. Which is interesting. Because normally, by this point, you normally would have normally got an email saying your order's been delayed until this point. Or the manufacturers have said this, but it hasn't now. The thing about that is that on most websites it is listed as sold out or out of stock, or the listing is just taken down, full stop. Apart from base.com, they still have it, though it's a little bit more expensive. It's £43. But yeah, now what I'm wondering is, I think probably they've manufactured so many, but probably not the full limited run that they normally do. They probably had so many ready to go, and they were probably in the process of manufacturing them, of pressing them, the discs, and send them out. And obviously, since we're going to lockdown, that's probably ceased, so that's probably why. So I'm reckoning that everyone who pre-ordered before a certain point is probably going to get them. I imagine I probably will, because I did pre-order on the day it went up to for pre-order. So yeah, because I always do that. Something I will say though is, for those of you, I'm just gonna have to double check this. So give me a second. Yep, I'm right. So for those of you who do not have season 23, or are still unable to find season 26, you can still buy them on Blu-ray from Amazon for their retail price on not Amazon, Argos. Yeah, a lot of people don't realise Argos sells the Doctor Who Blu-ray box sets. They had season 18 for ages, and season 19 for their resale price, when everyone was saying, oh, they're sold out. So yeah, it's a place that people don't think to have. I've been told by my friend Reese that apparently some Argos stores still had the season 18 in the store. Obviously, you can't go to the stores at the minute, but you can order it online. So yeah, it does say limited stock, but they do still have copies of season 23 and season 26. So if you missed out on them, then you can go get them from Argos. So yay. And something that's just reminded me, something I wanted to mention. So I saw Batman March's video, and I also saw Wingy Media's videos on the Faceless Ones, as well as a few others. And can I just say, am I the only person, or one of very few people, I should say, because there are a couple of others, who actually bought the Steelbook? Actually, no, not just the Steelbook, but bought a Blu-ray version of the Faceless Ones. Because everyone else I've seen, apart from a couple of other people, seem to have just bought the DVD. I'm thinking, why? Who the fuck still buys DVDs? Why buy the worst quality version that you could? And I know there's people arguing, saying, "Oh, it's so it looks nice in the collection." Just like, are you actually going to watch it though? Because it's just like I really don't understand that mindset. I think the standard Blu-ray has a reversible cover, if I remember rightly. So yeah, never understood that. Never understood that. I always. Plus, also the artwork is shit as well. So yeah, no, I just don't. I always buy the highest quality version of whatever's available. At the time, I know there are a small number of Doctor Who, not YouTubers, Doctor Who fans out there, and you know who you are, who are still buying and watching Doctor Who on VHS. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. For me, once I get the Blu-rays, I never go back. It's the same when I went from the VHSs to the DVDs. Basically, I never go back in quality. I only ever go up. I always oversee the highest quality version of whatever. I never go back. Audio is a different story. Because obviously vinyl records, because they can sound better. Well, not necessarily better sometimes. Sometimes they just have a different sound. They have a more richer, warmer sound than digital. Digital is a very sharp, precise vinyl. It's a lot of a warmer sound in general, and can pick up things better than a digital sound could. So that's what I'll say on that part. Anyway, there was a comment there that I haven't read yet, so give me a sec, kiddies. Andy asks, how affordable... Can you hear that person screaming outside? there's a dog bark, and then there's a person going, wee, wee. I have to fucking deal with that bloody all the time. I was once woken up a few days ago by some kids next door blasting on speakers, full blast. Old MacDonald has a farm, and they were playing at bloody 7 in the morning. Anyway, Andy G asks, how do you afford all the Doctor Who merchandise? And I can't afford all of it. I can't afford all of it. Because there's a lot of it I don't have, and there's some I just don't collect. For example, I don't buy the Eagle Moss figurines. I don't buy the magazines. You know, I only buy stuff that I want. Generally, I don't buy everything. I buy pretty much all the B&M sets because generally, you know, even in the weakest one last year, there was still at least one figure that I wanted out of it. So generally, I save my money and just buy the stuff that I want. Essentially, that is just the thing. You have to save your money for years. I mean, there's a lot of stuff now that I've had to paid a lot more for, because I missed out of it when I was new. Like, for example, the Forbidden Planet exclusives. You know, I had to pick and choose which ones of them that I wanted because obviously they were pretty expensive. So yeah, basically, unfortunately, you know, if you don't have a lot of money, then the only thing I can say is you have to save up, and also you have to be dedicated. You have to look for the deals and wait and chance it. Like, for example, the B&M stuff, when that goes on sale, it goes on sale. You know, I mean, some of it's went to half price, but the thing is, though, you're taking a risk there that it might be sold out. So that's it, something there. But yeah, you just got to keep your eyes open for deals here and there, and because generally there's no way to do it. Generally, it's just save up your money and just don't feel like you have to buy everything. Like, if there's something that you're not really interested in, I'm sorry to say, just don't buy it. Even if it's a good product or whatever, if you're not really interested in it, then just skip buying and save your money for something else, because otherwise you have spent your money on something that you didn't particularly want. I mean, if you have limitless money, then fuck what I say. You can buy whatever you want. But yeah, I don't. If you try and buy everything, you run out of money really fucking quickly. I mean, for one, big finishes as well. You know, I don't buy every single big finish. For one, I don't think anyone buys every single big finish. I don't think anyone can afford to buy every single one. So yeah, I don't buy all of the Doctor Who vinyl releases. I only buy, the odd one in here and there. If it's a story that I really like, then I'll buy it then. But even then, I generally chance it out and wait for a sale. Because there's some I've missed. There's some that I would have liked that I've missed out on. I missed out on the Amazon exclusive version of the Abominable Snowmen, which would have been really, really nice to have. But yeah, I've missed out on the Amazon exclusive version. So yeah, it's just you just have to pick and chance it, unfortunately. But there's some things you should get straight away. For example, the Blu-ray box sets. If you want that limited edition packaging version, then you have to basically just pre-order it. Unfortunately, you just have to pre-order it. If you're not that bothered about the packaging, then just wait for the American version to go down in price and buy the American version. It's basically just that simple, essentially. Because if you want the best, expect to pay the most. If you just want our version of something, then no, you gotta chance it. So, Adoring Endure asks, will you ever buy display cases for your collection, or are you not fussed, or are you happy to just own it? One, I am happy to own it. I'm happy to have it. Display cases, well, for a while, I used to have all my Doctor Who figures on display. I used to have all of them on display. However, I quickly ran out of room. And unfortunately, I do not have even... The thing is, I've wanted to get display cases for as long as I can bloody remember. The problem is I don't have the room for them. I literally physically do not have the room for display cases. Unfortunately, yeah. Because for me, I like to keep everything in its box. So that takes up more space generally. So yeah, I'm one of those collectors who likes to display his figures in box, which is also why I also like to get two of everything, where I like to get one to take out a box and one to just keep sealed. Just in case if I ever do get a display case, that I can have ones, loose in there and then have other ones sealed. So yeah, I am happy to know that I own them at any point. Because the thing is, people may call my room or various rooms in different houses because I'm not at home at the minute. They might call it a mess. I like to think of it as organized chaos, because you can ask me where anything is in my room, any one of my rooms actually, and I can tell you precisely where it is. I know exactly where everything is. So at any point, if I want to, go to something and get something, then I can just instantly go and find it. There obviously are exceptions, but generally, yeah, 99% of the time, I can tell you instantly where anything I have is. So, yeah. Plus, also, none of the figures I have are damaged. The only ones that are ones that I get in job lots where there'll be like log figure damage, because people thought all my Daleks were broken in one. I got a comment once saying, "Oh, why are all your Product Enterprise Daleks broken?" It was in one of my videos, and they weren't broken; they were disassembled because I was repairing them. So that's why. And basically, I was midway through a repair, which is why you could see them, bits of them. So they weren't broken; they were just disassembled. They're perfectly fine. So, I just realised I just missed a question from Andy G. Jodie Whittaker or Max Smith? I fucking hate Jodie Whittaker. I thought that would be obvious, but by some of the videos I've done, but if you're a new person here, then obviously I really hate Jodie Whittaker. So obviously Max Smith. Andy G, where do you keep your collection? I keep it across 3 houses. And I mean that literally. Most of it is kept at home. The next largest bit of the collection is kept here at my granny's, and then the rest of it is kept at my nana's. And the stuff that is kept at my nana's is, well, you know what? I'll show it to you one day, actually, what's kept there. But yeah, most of it is kept at home. Some of it is in the loft. So basically, I guess it's spread across 3 houses, 3 households essentially. At home with my parents, here at my granny's, and also at my nana. So it's spread across 3 houses. I'm really, those cake snacks are really fucking annoying. I'm getting really sick of them all the fucking time. Joe asks, estimated value of your collection. Oh, fucking hell. I have no idea. The value... I mean, Doctor Who is not the only thing I collect, for one. It's the biggest thing I collect, and it's the main thing I collect. It's not the only thing. I do have other collections, but are nowhere near as big as the Doctor Who collection, obviously. But estimated value of your collection and roughly the outlay costs. That is difficult for one. Basically, I'd be here all day just fucking listing all the stuff I've got. Then I'd have to work out what each thing was worth, and then trying to work out how much I paid for each thing. So I literally can't answer that question, because literally, we'll be in 2023 by the time I bloody listed everything, probably. So I can't even roughly I can't even roughly. It will be, you know, very much in the realms of probably the 10,000s, probably, of money just spent on stuff. Because I've spent an awful lot of fucking money on Doctor Who. Like, if you count of it as a whole, I've spent loads of money. Like, for example, obviously, you know, I bought the bloody DVD releases back in the day when they were £20. Yeah. I remember getting Genesis of the Daleks from Forbidden Planet for £20. I remember when I got Destiny when it came out on DVD back in 2008. It was 18 quid from HMV. That, you know, I mean, Doctor Who DVDs now are dirt cheap, but back then in the, you know, early to even late 2000s, they weren't, because DVD was still the dominant format back then. So yeah, because streaming services didn't really kick off until the 2010s, and Blu-ray and the first Doctor Who Blu-ray wasn't until 2009, and that was Planet of the Dead, which was the first episode ever recorded in HD. Yeah, that also makes the next Doctor the first ever Doctor Who story to be upscaled for Blu-ray release. That was on the Complete Specials Blu-ray box set. The more you know, the worse it gets. Yeah. Andy G asked, "Are you at university?" I kind of answered that, no. I'm at my granny's, but if you're asking, was I at university? No, I never went to university. I went to sixth form college, and then after that, after basically a gap year of basically doing work experiences and doing work courses and stuff for various things. I had a job for 3 months as an apprentice, and then they got rid of me because they didn't want to fucking pay me. Yeah. Because when I asked for a reason, they couldn't give us a reason. They just said, "Oh, we feel like you don't fit in here, and your skills will be better suited for another role," which is code word for bullshit. Because they were praising me, saying, "Oh, you know, we know you've done well and everything, but, you know, we're going to have to let you go." And they'd hired a new apprentice before. So that's how that went. So that was, what else do you collect? The Doctor Who Pages asks. Well, I mentioned it before, but I collect vinyl records. In fact, I can show you. So these are my 12-inch albums and EPs. Those are the Doctor Who ones, but those are there. And I do have, over here, I don't know if you can see, just behind the microphone, those are my, I'm going to stand up actually. So those there, those are all my 7-inch ones. Next I collect, obviously, there's Doctor Who ones, but there's ones that I've made myself. But all these drawers are full of cassettes. These ones are not. This is something new that I got the other day in the post. That'll be in a video coming soon. But obviously, you know, there's my saying so. Just to point out, there is 1, 2, 3 cassette decks here, and a hi-fi with the subwoofer there. But that's some of the things I collect. For FNAF figures, I've got some NECA figures in there. Down here, that is the Scooby-Doo Where Are You limited edition Blu-ray box set. Yeah. Actually, some of the stuff I'm showing that is here. But yeah, that's just some of the other stuff I collect that I have in my collection. So that, what else do I collect off the top of my head? Cassettes, vinyl records, Blu-ray releases of things, figures. I mean, similar things to basically within the same vein of the same categories of Doctor Who merchandise. I collect in other things essentially. So basically, just like Doctor Who, I collect various. If there's a limited edition Blu-ray version of something or scale books of things, then I buy them in that. So yeah, I have actually, you know what? I do have my Steelbook collection here, or some of them. Anyway, I'm sure. Honestly, if you'd like to see some of the other stuff I do, check out my Six Sec Reviews Other Stuff YouTube channel, where, like the name suggests, I review other stuff. Basically, anything non-Doctor Who, I review on there, because TV shows and movies. And I try to go a bit more obscure. I don't try to go mainstream. I generally try to go for animated stuff, because I do love animated films. Yeah. And I am also an expert on... I'm an expert on the Shrek films. No, I'm not joking. I'm an expert on the Shrek films. I know far too fucking much about Shrek. I also know a lot about Scooby-Doo as well. I know far too much about Scooby-Doo and Shrek. And a lot of films in general, so yeah. Andy asks, what is your dream job? My dream job is to be is to become a voice actor. And to... Actually, my dream job is to write, direct, and act in Big Finish. That would be my dream job. Basically, I would like Nick Briggs' various jobs. I would like all the jobs that Nick Briggs does. I would like them. I would like to be the executive producer of Big Finish. I would like to be the Dalek, Cybermen, and Jadoon, etc. voice actor for not only the TV series but Big Finish. I would like to also be a writer and director for Big Finish, basically. Yeah. These. So that would be my dream job. That would be my dream job. Yeah. I'll just give it a see if anything else pops up on this. Oh, I've got 8 people watching, so yay. If I can't really think of anything else I'm going to say. So I think if it gets to an hour 25 and no one else has asked anything, I think we'll probably cut it off there. Knowing my live streams, that probably is not going to fucking happen, is it? So I'll put a question last second and I'll do the whole spiel again, and then the last second someone else will say something. And I better plug my phone back in, actually. Keep it charged. Don't want to run out of battery. Also, this is a really annoying thing as well, like, you might notice a watermark in the corner, because this is an app I'm using on my phone, because for some reason you have to have 1,000 subscribers in order to natively now just live stream from your phone, which is really fucking stupid. Like, why? Adore Endure asks, what's your best vintage find in the wild? Vintage? Depends what you mean by vintage, because not many things I have found in the wild. Most of my collection was bought on eBay. The vast majority of my collection came from eBay. So the best thing I found in the wild, fucking nothing. You find nothing in the wild these days. You're not going to come across that rare Doctor Who item in the wild. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's very unlikely to fucking happen. All of it I've bought off eBay, which may be more expensive, but then maybe find out. Actually, you know what? You know, stuff you find in the wild now is normally more expensive than on eBay. So there's not even that excuse that, oh, it's cheaper when you find it in the wild. It isn't. It isn't now. It's cheaper to find it on eBay because there's just more competition, which means prices generally go lower because other people are competing with each other. So generally, nothing you find in the wild now is cheaper unless you've got a person completely clueless who just happens to have the bloody rarest thing ever. And in terms of vintage, I don't really go too vintage, to be honest, because, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's kind of it. Andy G asks, will Nathan return to Six Sec Adventures? Now, that's an interesting thing. So, Nathan, if you don't know, is my brother, and he was in Six Sec Adventures Series 2. And essentially, he kind of left, and, you know, he said to me several times for the past year, he said, oh, yeah, I'd like to start doing it again. And he said, oh, I'll do the audio, I'll do an audio. And every time I've asked him, right, do you want to start filming or do you want to start recording an audio? He just goes, oh, no, not now. I'm on my Xbox. And he's always on his fucking Xbox 24/7. So, highly unlikely he will ever return to Six Sec Adventures. Highly unlikely. At least not for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. Actually, you know what? We could try calling him. I'll call him on Hangouts. See if he answers. He's probably not, because he probably can't hear his phone because he's playing on his Xbox with his headset on, so he's probably not gonna answer. Nope. Andy J says, do you miss him? Who, my brother? Well, he's at home in lockdown, and I'm at my granny's. Do I miss him? No, not really, because he's my brother. So it's hard to essentially miss him because he's there. I mean, I haven't seen him face to face in a couple of weeks, but I miss my dog more than I miss him easily. I miss my dog more than anyone else. And Ringo, do you go to any charity shops, toy fairs, boot fairs, or just online hunting? I've done all of them. The most successful is online. I do go to charity shops, but I'm not generally looking for Doctor Who stuff in charity shops. I must have a look to see if they have anything generally. But charity shops have gotten fucking expensive. Like, for example, one of the local charity shops in my area, it was a St. Oswald's, and it had the Doctor Who Trial of a Time Lord tin, and they wanted £70 for the VHS. By the way, the VHSs. And they also wanted £70 for the Master VHS tin. And they also wanted £40 for Death to the Daleks VHS, the single VHS. And someone has fucking bought them. You insane individual, what the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, generally you're not going to find Doctor Who stuff at charity shops, generally. And if you are, it's generally just going to be the same old stuff, the most like common thing that you could think of. Like a David Tennant figure that you're probably going to find that's probably had its hair scratched out and everything. That's generally what you're going to find at these places. Or if not, it's going to be fucking expensive. Andy G, who was a better companion, Nathan or Matthew? Nathan's a better companion because, I'm sorry to say this, but Matthew couldn't act. Yeah. Matthew never wanted to be an actor, for one. And he only did those videos for me. If he wasn't my friend, then no way on earth he would have done that, because he hated showing his face on camera, which is why basically he planked. Originally, I wanted him to do a full series, and he went, "Oh no, I'll do cameos throughout the series," and that wasn't really working. So basically, I just had to write him out in the very next episode. Whereas Nathan does like acting, he doesn't enjoy acting. He does have a similar ego to mine. So I think we generally work better off each other. Generally. Plus, he's available at the time he was available at any time, since he was my brother and we lived in the same house. Obviously, I'm still technically do, but I'm here at the minute, my granny. So anyway, Doctor Who 123. What's your favourite horror film? Well, it's not strictly horror; it's a horror comedy, but that would be Bride of Chucky. That is my favourite of the Chucky films, and is my favourite horror film. I mean, it's a horror comedy, which isn't exactly the same thing, but yeah, I do like that. And my favourite type of horror film is also the slasher films, which is why I'm hoping that Halloween Kills is still going to be released in October, hopefully. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Adore Endure asks, I found my second class Big Finish CD. £1 sold after listening to it to the US. Well, wait, let me read that again. Sorry. I found the second class Big Finish CD. £1 sold it after listening to it to the US. I'm not really sure what you mean. Do you mean you listened to it and you're in the US and you listened to it and then you sold it for £1? Or did you buy it for £1? I'm not really sure what that is you were asking there. Okay. I really don't know. I still to this day have not listened to the other two stories in the Class Volume 2 set that I have. And I never will. Yeah, we got anything else to ask? Because otherwise then, yeah, here comes the spiel again, everyone. Otherwise, if there are no more questions, then I'll probably just wrap this thing up here, but we'll give it a couple of minutes. We'll give it to 1 hour 35 in order for someone else to ask. Otherwise, there we go. I always like to make sure I fully answer everyone's questions. And just to let you know that if you do want to actually chat to me over on a call, you can join my Discord and you can chat to me there, and also you can talk to me on a call if you want. So yeah, and also keep up with it on my Twitter. I post when I get things or things that. Also, something to note that I did post on Twitter that I haven't said yet. B&M are now getting deliveries of the third Doctor TARDIS sets and the revised versions of the Dalek sets, so they're now getting deliveries of them. So, obviously just don't go B&M for them, actually go to B&M, for a legitimate purpose, and then get them while you're there, which is what I did. I was getting some tins of soup, as well as some toilet rolls, I think. or something from B&M during the week, and I picked up another third Dr. Tannis. Favourite pot noodle? I'm still annoyed at my brother because he fucking ate mine. And that is the sticky ribs one. That is my favourite pot noodle. And I'm gonna move things over here just to be a bit more comfortable, because I've literally had my leg. I need to stretch my leg out because I've literally been lying on my fucking leg for about an hour having it bent, and it fucking hurts, so I'm having to stretch it out. And just to say, you can ask anything. I mean, literally anything. You can ask the fucking dirtiest shit ever, and I will answer it honestly. Or the cleanest shit ever, and I will probably be a bit bored by that. You could ask me if bloody would you rather, or anything, or topic you'd like me to talk about, but literally, when I say anything, I don't care. And I literally don't. Because when I say I don't give a shit, I really don't. Yeah. Okay. Do you have a girlfriend? No. I don't. I'm just to clarify, I don't have a boyfriend either. Okay? And I have never been in any relationship of any kind. So yeah, I am forever alone. Although, to be honest, apart from a few people, I've never really actually asked or actually made any effort to actually, become in a relationship with anyone. Just because, I don't know, commitment is difficult. Or something. Or interest, or because I'm fucking weird. Albeit, I'm fucking weird. Adoring Jazz. The Class Volume 2 found it for £1 in a charity shop. Fucking hell. The Dalek episode is all it's worth listening to. Yeah, the Dalek... In Remembrance, which is what it's called, I actually did review that. If you can't find it, look in my Big Finish reviews playlist. It's the first one in there, but it's not that good. It's basically just run around the school for about an hour as the Dalek chases you around. That's the story. Yeah, that was totally worth the money. And I paid full price for that bloody... Actually, no, I didn't pay full price. Because I pre-ordered it. Yeah. And that CD was limited to 500 as well. And it took forever for it to be sold out. That CD was limited to just 500. My God. And I'm going to have a drink of some Iron Blue Extra. Not a sponsor, because I don't have any sponsors. Who would sponsor me? No, I do not want to turn on the TV. Iron Blue. How do you describe the taste of Iron Blue? Who knows what the fuck it is? It's such a thing that exists. Again, same ditto, just saying the questions. Because actually, by this point, it's just questions because I've run out of things to say. By this point, I've literally talked about everything I was going to talk about, so yeah. Yeah, 9 years being on YouTube, I do have plans to go for 10-year anniversary, which is obviously exactly a year away. Which is really weird. I've been doing this. I've been doing YouTube for nearly half my life. I've been doing YouTube for nearly half my life. I'm 21. And I've been doing YouTube for 9 years. That's nearly half my life. And at one point it will be half my life, and then there'll be a point, possibly, if I'm still doing YouTube by then. Well, I've been doing YouTube for longer than half my life. And then it might be most of my life. Will you do YouTube forever, Andy J asks? Maybe. For the foreseeable future, yes, I will be doing YouTube. I will be doing YouTube for the foreseeable future. I'll probably be here. Well, not here, probably at home at that point. Doing YouTube, doing my 10-year anniversary next year. So, for the foreseeable future, I will be doing YouTube. Will I be doing it forever? Don't know. Maybe. Unless something happens that drastically changes that, then, I'm just doing it as long as I can. Adore Endure asks, you should have added some earlier footage. I can't really do that during a live stream, the way I'm doing it here. Well, actually, I can't show you really, but this is literally my phone on a tripod, so I can't really do the thing where splicing footage. Yeah, plus also that is shitty web 240p webcam footage from the very beginning. Whereas this, even though this is a stream from the front-facing camera of my phone, this is still better quality than what I was doing at the beginning. Easily, infinitely better than that. Isn't that right? Also, if you saw my latest Doctor Items unbox from last month, this is the Dalek that you saw come forward. There's a fun, useless fact for you. Because the more you know, the worse it gets. I don't know. If we get to an hour 45 and there's nothing more, then this time I swear I will end it. I swear I'll end the stream. Because my last one ended up being my fucking longest at over 5 hours. Over 5 hours. Oh god. Also, today at 5 o'clock, premiering would be part 5 of the Fish Tank of Death. And yeah, I just finished editing that today. And interestingly, I had to edit that. I had to basically upload the audio that I recorded here, upload it to Google Drive so I could then remote access my laptop at home, download it from that to that laptop, then use the remote access to edit it in Audacity from there, and then upload it to YouTube from my laptop at home. And the whole time I was sitting here. That's a fun fact on how much more complicated doing the videos are. Which is also why there hasn't been another Items Unboxed, because I haven't been able to go home to... All the footage is at home, but there's no new skits that have been recorded. Which is... uploading audio to Google Drive and downloading that's fine, but having to do 4K footage... I only have so much room. I only have a little bit of space in my Google Drive. So, anyway. If that is it, and it does look to be that way, then, yeah, I think that is where we'll end this one out. So, yeah, yeah, yay for 9 years. It's really odd. So 9 years, it's just like, it's not, it's just like kind of like that one, just like, yeah, this is the one we'll hold in between 10. Because, you know, it's just like, it's like one. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this one, and I'll see you whenever. I'm coming!